Sagicor School Companion today. The time by Sagicor Life is
7 a.m. and it's now time for the Morning Watch with Mr. Stokeley Marshall. Today, the Morning Watch is brought to you by AIM Financial Corporation Limited. AIM has a loan for any purpose. Visit any of our branches in Mandeville, Kingston, Spanish Town, Portmore, Maypen, Ocho Rios, and Montego Bay.
In need of a loan? AIM Financial is the place to go. We have loans from $20,000 to $3.3 million. Get a loan to pay school or college tuition, medical expenses, bills, fix up your house, buy furniture and appliances, repair or buy a car. And when you're done, take a vacation loan. AIM has a loan for any purpose. Call AIM today. You won't find a better deal elsewhere. Guaranteed.
Listeners to Love 101 FM are advised that the views and opinions expressed in this program are not necessarily those of Love 101 FM.
Hello and welcome to the Morning Watch on Love 101 FM. I'm your host, Stokeley Marshall. A special welcome to our listeners on love101.org. And if you are overseas and on the move, U.S. listeners can access us at 712-832-8001. And if you are in the UK, 0330-332-6541. Or join us via the Love 101 FM app that can be downloaded from the Google Play Store or the Apple Store. You can also join us on Love 101 FM Facebook and YouTube Live. In the main watch, dreading the rain. And in the second watch, Utility Customer Service Distinction Award. For our social media question, we ask, how did last weekend's rains affect you? Share your responses on our Facebook or YouTube, Love 101 FM Jamaica Live, and also WhatsApp, comments and voice notes to 876-9973-125 using the hashtag The Morning Watch. We'll share your conversation on the program, but first, here's I quote.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Today's I quote is from David Pawson, and it says, if you have not been born again, a day will come when you wish you had never been born at all. It's from David Pawson.
That sounds like an I quote based on biblical scripture.
Definitely.
Jukal Dyer.
Good morning.
Are you rapture ready?
Yeah.
Say yes, no, man. You know, we used to talk a lot about being rapture ready some time ago, but that phrase seems to have sort of been cast by the wayside.
Listen, it's time for us just to live ready.
But the times we're living in now, I think we need to resurrect that terminology. Are you rapture ready? The main watch will be back after this break.
Great sardine with the chef and the beginner. Follow the one with pepper, that are the winner. Shop on supermarkets, everybody sell it. You all of them nice. Pass the part, me push it.
Great sardines, follow the better flavor.
I move with a Jamaican style. I stand for truth, I go the extra mile. This is where the rhythm has begun. And we love shawty bread by honey bun. Who do you love? Shawty bread by honey bun. Who do you love? Shawty bread by honey bun. Who do you love? Shawty bread by honey bun. Who do you love? Shawty bread by honey bun. The best quality by far. Honey bun.
Christmas is togetherness.
Flow is giving you their best.
Christmas is special savings.
That's just what Flow is bringing.
Christmas is the joy of giving.
So that's just what you've been wishing.
Oh, it's a celebration.
special free phone and earbuds for you. Get a free Samsung phone and earbuds when you sign up for Flow Yard and Road for only $4,999 plus GCT. Flow makes Christmas bright and blue because it's all inspired by you. Visit your store to sign up today. Conditions apply.
Black Friday Mega Madness, Black Friday Mega Madness, Black Friday Mega Madness.
We have never had a sale this big. Get ready, Jamaica. This one is massive. November 27 to 29. It's the Black Friday Mega Madness weekend at Walmart Things. Every single item in stores 30 to 70% off this Friday only. And catch the Saturday and Sunday specials too. Black Friday Mega Madness weekend is on at Walmart Things, Walmart Road and Constant Spring Road. It's a Mega Madness weekend.
Importers, are you clearing non-commercial shipments such as barrels and packages this Christmas? Join the Jamaica Customs Agency for a riveting online forum on contactless clearance and the new Customs mobile app. Wednesday, November 22, 2023, starting at 10 a.m. under the theme, Customs Clearance Made Easier Through Digital Transformation. Importers, clearing customs is now easier with contactless clearance. So, click, connect, and converse with customs by visiting our website at jacustoms.gov.jm to register and to participate. Jamaica Customs, keeping our customers in focus.
Hello and welcome back to the Morning Watch on Love 101 FM. I'm your host, Stokeley Marshall. We are in the first watch, and there was a time when the rain was seen as a blessing, and it is still a blessing. However, due to maybe too much garbage in our gullies, maybe building or doing construction in the wrong places, as the case may be, when the rains fall now, it can be a cause for great grief. And what grief many persons experienced last weekend in relation to the heavy rains that fell. We are looking at this topic this morning, what can be done in relation to this matter of the rain. Why do we have such a horrible experience each time we have many, many showers? We have as our guests this morning to look at this social commentator Kevin O'Brien Chan and environmental consultant Lauren Prairie. Mr. O'Brien Chan, Lauren Prairie, good morning.
Hello, good morning, Stokeley.
Now, to what extent is how we treat our environment to blame for what we experienced last weekend, concerning the heavy rains? Or is it not how we treat the environment? Maybe it's other issues. Starting with you, Lauren Prairie.
All right, well, I think there are a few things that are happening at the same time. So it is the weather is changing, the climate is changing, and we're seeing more intense rain and more intense events more frequently.
Why do you say the climate is changing and the weather is changing? Because we have had rains, heavy rains, for many decades, millennia.
Yes, but the intensity of the rains and the short bursts of intense rains are happening more frequently. So
you have recorded evidence of this, or is it just anecdotal?
No, this is recorded. I don't have the statistics now, but like a 10-year.
So sorry that you didn't bring them with you.
Sorry about that. Yes, but it's definitely information that is available, but we are seeing that more intense.
Because what I was seeing were a lot of plastic bottles and a lot of garbage being floated in some of the gullies in relation to the rains on the last weekend.
Yes. So in addition to the rain being more intense, and in those short bursts that we're seeing more often, the infrastructure is being overwhelmed by not just the rainwaters and having nowhere to run, but the waterways are filled with garbage as well. So that contributes to the flooding. But the water really has nowhere to go. The amount of concrete that we kind of have now, especially in the more
With all the real estate
urban.
development?
Sorry?
With all the real estate development?
Real estate, just how we're developing and not creating permeable surfaces for the water to
I'm so happy you said that. Not creating permeable surfaces for the water. I see it. You know, you might have had a property and there was a lot of grass, and then you put up a lovely building, a lot of concrete, and nowhere for the water to go.
Yes, so the water has to go somewhere, and that is
Yes.
leading to flooding. And if you have a lot of water, the time that it has to run off and
Has to go somewhere.
Yes, so we're seeing
Overwhelming the infrastructure.
And if the space is also being taken up, we know we have an issue with plastic, and plastic takes up a lot of space. And in the gullies, you're seeing plastic bottles. So that is adding to it as well. The water has nowhere to run. You can't have two things occupying the same space.
Let's bring in Mr. Brian Chang. Mr. Brian Chang, sir, good morning again.
Good morning, everybody.
Mr. Brian Chang, what do you think is happening? Well, let me change the question, because you know what is happening. But can you make any comments in relation to what is happening? I've seen some pictures and videos which are ominous. What was once a road in a particular section of Upper St. Andrew is now, some parts of it anyway, now looking like dirt and mud. And you're seeing where a lot of garbage is being floated in some of the waterways. You see where some of the waterways just can't manage the volume of water. Any comments, Mr. Brian Chang, before we head to the break?
Well, yeah, you have to contextualize everything, you know. First of all, Jamaica, we got some floods and stuff. Nobody died. Dominican Republic, 100 miles away, 30 people died. They had much worse floods than what we saw.
Well, I am told, well, I don't know how, if it's confirmed, but I do understand that you may have had one or two persons who might have had difficulties with the water. I don't know if they were saved, but I wait for confirmation in that regard. But I do agree, sir, that Jamaicans are quite resilient, because in a neighboring country, quite a number of persons died. So I do take that point. In terms of our infrastructure and the effect that the weather had on our infrastructure, the rain had on our infrastructure, to be more specific. Any comments on that? Mr. Brian Chang, are you still with us? I hope we haven't lost him. Lauren Prairie, until we bring him back in, if we went through this during these heavy rains, what if it were a hurricane? Even a minor hurricane.
Am I being heard?
Oh, Mr. Brian Chang, I'm so happy that we're hearing you now. Mr. Brian Chang.
Yeah, I'm saying you have to put everything in context.
Let's move to the next question. What if it were a minor hurricane?
No, but hold on, man. I said Jamaicans have a habit of navel gazing sometimes. As I said, nobody died.
We're not doing that on the morning watch. We're not engaging in sensationalism. And
what sensationalism? Nobody's talking sensationalism. We're talking about reality.
It's a genuine question. It's not a
but I am making a genuine comment. Can I finish? Second of all, a lot of this stuff, we never had social media until maybe 10 years ago. So we've seen a lot of stuff we never saw before. We don't have, we can't say it was worse than in the past, because in the past, a lot of things happened nobody saw. There are no cameras, no videos to show the social media. So I'm saying we have to put everything in context. And if we're going to panic and say, oh, the world is falling down, Jamaica is falling down.
1 second, Mr. Branton. I do see where we are already upon a break. Hold the thought, sir. Listeners, stay with us, please. We'll be right back on the morning watch.
Emmanuel Apostolic Church presents Rejoice 2023. Saturday, November 25. Tickets pre-sold 1,500. At the door, 2,000. Students with ID, 1,000. Children 12 and under, free. Tickets available at Music Mart, Electro World, Omega Radio, Emmanuel Apostolic Church, Portmore, and Slipe Road. Rejoice 2023 with Rhoda Isabella, Emmanuel Apostolic Church Mass Choir, Bishop T, and more.
Special appearance by Nadine Blair.
Saturday, November 25 at 7 p.m. at 12 Slipe Road.
Take a good look at your Sagicor Bank credit card. Do you see the Acropolis of Athens? The picture-perfect beaches of Crete? Use your Sagicor Bank credit card and you could discover the magic of Greece. Get a chance to win a luxury trip for two to Greece when you spend with your Sagicor Bank Gold and Platinum credit card until November 25, 2023. The more you spend, the more chances to discover Greece. Conditions apply. Authorized under Section 58.3 of the Betting, Gaming, and Lotteries Act. Visit Sagicor.com to learn more.
Importers, are you tired of the hassle? Are you tired of the wait? Value your time because we value yours. Request contactless clearance through your agent to clear your personal, non-commercial shipments at the ports. It is more efficient. It is secure. For more details, email Jamaica Customs at contactlessclearance@jca.gov.jm. Contactless clearance, powered by the Jamaica Customs Agency. Jamaica Customs, keeping our customers in focus.
Jamaica Hospital Supplies has medical equipment for health at home.
We have oxygen supplies,
wheelchairs,
digital blood pressure machines,
adult diapers,
Sure Comfort diabetic supplies,
CareSense blood sugar meters,
humidifiers, incentive spirometers,
urinals, bedpans, leg bags,
CPAP supplies, body fat scales and catheters. Jamaica Hospital Supplies for all your home care needs. 66 and a half Halfway Tree Road. Call 929-2850. Visit our website for more information.
In need of a loan? A Financial is the place to go. We have loans from $20,000 to $3.3 million. Get a loan to pay school or college tuition, medical expenses, bills, fix up your house, buy furniture and appliances, repair or buy a car. And when you're done, take a vacation loan. AIM has a loan for any purpose. Call AIM today. You won't find a better deal elsewhere. Guaranteed.
Welcome back to the Morning Watch. I'm your host, Stokeley Marshall. We are in the first watch and we are looking at the topic, dreading the rain. Dreading the rain. Our guests are Kevin O'Brien Chang and Lauren Prairie. Mr. O'Brien Chang, you're making a comment just before the break, indicating that the proliferation of social media might be making the situation look a little bit more dramatic. Well, I would like to...
Yeah, what I'm saying is nowadays...
Before you finish, Mr. O'Brien Chang, some of the roads that I have seen, whether on social media or with my own two eyes, the way that the rain and the water has impacted some of those roads seems to be a little bit more, terrible than in previous times. Any comments on that?
But based on what evidence? In the past, we never saw the damage in detail done to roads and stuff because there weren't people taking pictures and videos. And one thing you notice in social media...
I spoke to what I saw, not what I saw.
Yes, sir, but let me finish. Yeah, let me finish though. As I say, we're going to see things. We might see a couple of roads now look damaged. There might have been 100 in the past. We never saw. But we have a habit of social media now. People put one picture of something.
I don't think we can blame social media for this, Mr. Brian Chang.
I'm trying to contextualize. I'm trying to contextualize it, sir. In the past, things may have been much worse, but you did not see the pictures and videos, so it seems worse today. I'm saying that, right? I mean, it's a strong possibility.
It's worse, I don't think we're saying it's worse, but continue.
And the third thing I will say is definitely what we continually see in Jamaica is clogged up gullies and drains and whatever with these plastic bottles and garbage that people dump all over the place. So whatever is happening, I'm saying is, first of all, I'm contextualizing that it's a lot worse other places. The social media can exaggerate. And the third thing I'm saying is clearly Jamaica has a problem.
Exaggerating, Mr. O'Brien. It is showing what's happening.
Well,
But
as I
go ahead,
say,
sir.
exaggerating in comparison to what in the past may have gone down we didn't know about. And the
Well,
third
I'm
thing
not
I'm
seeing
saying
any
is
figures
it is
saying
a
that it's
clear,
worse than before. But go ahead.
yeah. And the third thing I would say, which can all agree on, the classic bottles and garbage and all that dumped in gullies and stuff, right? Is clearly a lot. Whatever is happening, a lot of it is clearly self-inflicted by the. Let's just use a generic term, the nastiness of Jamaicans who do not dispose of their garbage properly. They don't care about their environment, and they dump it and wash down the road. Is somebody else's problem, not mine. And if there's going to be one focus of the problem, I would say it is the Jamaicans' careless attitude towards their own environment and dumping garbage and stuff and all that, not caring about their own backyard, much more the neighbors down the road.
Interesting, Mr. Branch, and thank you so much for your comments, Lauren Prairie. Now, in terms of whether we look, if we had a hurricane, even a category 1, I'm not sure how we would have fared, Lauren Prairie. And what can the average person do to sort of mitigate what is happening? If we see a category 1 even coming towards Jamaica right now, what advice would you give to us, Lauren Prairie? Because some of the water that I saw, I mean, it's just completely out of this world. You know, you wouldn't want to get caught in that situation. And then the effect it's having on the loosening of the soil in certain places. I mean, what were once roads, some in some cases, maybe a few, but nevertheless, a few too many, became mud. Lauren Prairie, please help us.
All right. Well, what we saw, the flash flood that we saw was a lot of water in a short space of time, and it might not be worse than what was happening, but the increased weather events might be becoming more frequent. So it's not necessarily worse than what we were seeing, but they might be becoming more frequent as an impact of climate change. So the amount of water having to deal with in just short space of time. So there's preparation done on the state side where the gullies need to be cleared so that they can take the water away. We've seen where some of the larger gullies like Sandy Gully was fit for purpose and was carrying out a lot of water. So I think definitely having the infrastructure carry out.
And any comments on the rise in the water level in gullies like the Sandy Gully? I mean, I'm just wondering, had the rains been that much worse, just how much higher might that water level have been? You have persons who live in and around communities abutting this gully and other gullies.
Sorry?
And other gullies.
Well, these are the vulnerable areas. I think once you are living beside that kind of infrastructure, there is always the risk, and that's why they're more vulnerable. And I mean, some people, they've tried to move, but it's not always feasible. So that is definitely an increased risk and vulnerability being in those areas. And had the rain been worse, the water can always rise because all of the waterways are connected. So where it is backed up in one area, it will have to overcompensate in another. Or if a natural water flow is being blocked by building and concrete and so on, it will have to compensate in another area, and you can never really tell how water will behave, and it will always go back to its natural kind of flow.
River finds its natural course.
Yes.
And any comments about where we are building, including placing roads and structures? Because you're seeing some amount of evidence to indicate that maybe in some places there could have been some overbuilding, maybe the types of buildings, maybe the weight of the buildings, maybe the type of soil. Any comments, Lauren Kerr?
I mean, I think we tend to build and not think about the cumulative impact. So they do an impact assessment or they do a review on one permit and then another permit is granted. But when you look at the entire landscape and how it might change in terms of all of these high-rise buildings that are going up where single-family homes used to be, and the concrete now and the parking lots and so on. So the cumulative impact is not really analyzed. And
yes,
whereas it may on paper and in isolated areas, one plot, okay, the impact may not be great, but then if you have an entire road where you used to have a lot of land, a lot of grass, places for the water to seep back into the soil, and now it is concrete, whereas nothing illegal has necessarily been done, the cumulative impacts are not being followed up, and it can cause things like flooding, and you're seeing where walls are falling down into other people's yards and so on, and the impacts are seen. But it's cumulatively what is going on is not being tracked.
Mr. Brian Chang, the matter of infrastructure has come up from time to time in our discussions on things like this. We know that infrastructure is not cheap to maintain, but notwithstanding, sir, do you have any comments in relation to that? Because when infrastructure breaks down and there's flooding, there can be so much financial, and I don't even want to mention the emotional impact. When people see their property being lost, it can have a devastating effect. If persons die or are seriously injured, even more of an impact. Mr. Brancham?
Yeah, well, listen, development is people want better living. That's what development is about. And the governments of Jamaica over the years have done a reasonable job, in my view, of balancing the need for the demands of development and they keeping the environment functional and infrastructure functional so that you balance both of them. People want to live better, but you have to live long with it, keep the environment in proper shape. I don't think Jamaica's record is particularly bad. It's decent compared to, the realities of the world. And I say the bigger problem, if you ask me, is I come back to the point, the personal responsibility of the average Jamaican. You can have all the rules and regulations in the world, If people keep dumping stuff, plastic bottles and garbage and all that in the waterways where the water is supposed to flow and clog it up, the water can't flow. And I believe that the bigger problem, the government does as well as it can in the circumstances generally over the years, but the habits of Jamaicans are, if they are more of a cause of these floods than anything else. As I say, you look and you see it, the hundreds, thousands of plastic bottles and garbage. The ban the plastic bags and stuff, but the plastic bottles are still a great problem. And as I say, if individuals properly dispose of their garbage, the problem would be a lot less. And I believe that is probably the main contribution to the floodings and stuff we see, the sheer carelessness and nastiness of Jamaicans, of the lack of regard of their own environment, much more the neighbor down the road. And that is where the biggest change needs to take place, in my view.
Lauren Prairie, any final thoughts you want to leave with us? Never enough time on the morning watch.
Yeah, there are just many issues that will contribute. Land use issues, infrastructure issues. Overwhelming the infrastructure with garbage is definitely a big problem. And I'm always an advocate for better waste management practices. So I agree there that we definitely need to do more, both on an individual level, regulatory level, and an enforcement level as well, to reduce the amount of garbage that we're seeing in the environment. And flooding is definitely one of the big impacts of overwhelmed infrastructure with garbage, which is an avoidable problem, very, very avoidable problem.
Mr. Brian Chang, a final thought you want to leave with us?
Yeah, we Jamaicans need to take better responsibility for our actions. We can complain about the government, which we vote in, and they do what we want. But we need to take responsibility for our actions and stop trying to blame other people for what is self-inflicted.
I have to leave it there this morning. I want to thank Kevin O'Brien, Chang, and Lauren Cray for being our guests in the first watch. A lot of food for thought there. Listeners, we'll be right back on the morning watch.
Anything possible with a little savings in your hand.
The time by JM Bank is
7:30 and a half.
As Christians, we're told to expect persecution. It's been the story forever. But we're also told that persecution is a blessing. Persecution comes in all sizes, shapes, colors, textures, and intensity. Let's just say, if it oppresses, hurts, ill-treats, and victimizes for his sake, it's persecution. Have you experienced it? How did you handle it? Tuesday, November 21, on The Rock, join host Bishop Harold Steve Blair and guests Reverend Christopher Broadburn and Pastor Luke Smith as they discuss the topic persecution. That's The Rock, Tuesday, November 21 at 10 a.m. right here on the family station, Love 101.
Watch the trend, pick up the trend. This are the trend, we are the youths them. Watch the trend, pick up the trend. TREND. We go to trend for education, teachers and the students. A fully bright future, yes, that are the new trend. Better governance, partner with the parents. Follow the big trend, elevate the youth them. Improve the school's job performance, access and attendance. From infant primary to university students. Turn up the skills training, full steam we are giving. Follow the big trend, elevate the schools, yeah. Watch the trend, pick up the trend. This are the trend, we are the youths them. Watch the trend, pick up the trend. TREND. Promote technology. Yes, and better planning, quality education, that's what should be trending. From principals to EOs, everybody winning. Follow the ministry, changing the system. Watch the trend, pick up the trend.
This is Trend, Transforming Education for National Development, a program designed by the Ministry of Education and Youth to transform Jamaica's education system for a brighter tomorrow.
From generation to generation, Jamaicans have depended on JM Bank to make the pride and joy of providing a safe place for their families possible. Now, with no processing fees and no down payment mortgage options, you can open the door to your own sweet home, a legacy to hand to your next generation. Visit jmbank.com to get pre-approved today. JM Bank will help you find a way.
Tired of the high interest rates and the holy loan payments every month? Take a debt consolidation loan from AIM to pay credit card bills and all other high interest rate loans from other institutions. Make one low monthly payment to AIM and take home some extra money in your pocket. That's financial freedom. One loan, one low payment, more money in your pocket. Call AIM today to lower your loan payment. And remember, you won't find a better deal elsewhere. Guaranteed.
Once upon a time, there was a girl named Kay. She loved to dance and play. One day at school, she got very ill, and Mom was left with an unbearable bill. It would be easier if Mom was prepared. With School Companion, 80% of the bill is cleared. Medical care for children is a must for as low as $2,400 per month. Make unbearable medical bills go away. Sign up for Surgical School Companion today.
Hello and welcome back to the Morning Watch. I'm your host, Stokeley Marshall. Let's take a look now at the newspapers to see what Jamaicans and others are saying and doing. And we have in the Jamaica Observer, food prices set to soar. Farmers, JAS, blame flood rains. Farmers, Jamaica Agricultural Society, blame flood rains. That story by Casey Williams of the Observer. We now turn to the Gleaner. We have Haitian police detain a new suspect in the 2021 slaying of President Jovenel Moise. Haitian police detain a new suspect in the 2021 slaying of President Jovenel Moise. We turn to Luke Jamaica News. Businessman held report bomb threat, again remanded in custody. Again remanded in custody. Those and many other stories in our various news sources. Coming up next, we'll read the feedback from our WhatsApp question, which is, how did last weekend's rains affect you? How did last weekend's rains affect you? If you haven't done so yet, leave your response in our Facebook or YouTube Love 101 FM Jamaica Live, and also WhatsApp comments and voice notes to 876-997-3125 using the hashtag The Morning Watch. We'll be right back.
As Christians, we're told to expect persecution. It's been the story forever. But we're also told that persecution is a blessing. Persecution comes in all sizes, shapes, colors, textures, and intensity. Let's just say, if it oppresses, hurts, ill-treats, and victimizes for his sake, it's persecution. Have you experienced it? How did you handle it? Tuesday, November 21, on The Rock, join host Bishop Harold Steve Blair and guests Reverend Christopher Broadburn and Pastor Luke Smith as they discuss the topic persecution. That's The Rock, Tuesday, November 21 at 10 a.m. right here on the family station, Love 101.
The Welcome Park New Testament Church of God celebrates 60 years of faithful and impactful service. Here's what's coming up in the homecoming celebrations.
It's a sing ting. Wednesday, November 22 at 6:30 p.m. in the sanctuary at 65 Waltham Park Road. Oh, what singing and dancing. It will be a grand celebration. Then, on Friday, November 24, all are invited to 65 Connect at 65 Waltham Park Road at 7 p.m. It is a time to connect and reminisce. Refreshments will be available. Saturday morning, November 25, we meet for prayer at 6:30 a.m. in the sanctuary at 65 Waltham Park Road. Prayer boxes will be available to place your requests. Moving on up, staying the course. And we culminate our celebrations with our 60th anniversary service and Lord's Supper on Sunday, November 26th at 9 a.m. Moving on up, stay in the course. Waltham Park New Testament Church of God celebrates 60 years of God's faithfulness and unswerving service and commitment to the Waltham Gardens community and Jamaica. Be a part of this awesome celebration.
Welcome back to the Morning Watch. I'm your host, Stokeley Marshall. Let's join Jakal for a look at how our friends in social media land space or social media world, as the case may be, answer today's question. How did last weekend's rains affect you, Jakal?
All right, so we do have a response here from Edna in Montego Bay. She sent a voice message. Let's hear what she has to say.
Good morning. Morning, watch. Good morning, Love 101 listeners and stuff. The rain, how it affected me last weekend. It was not bad, you know. I had a little leaking here and there. And then, differently from the fact that When you're going to the church temple, we have to do church online, yes. But otherwise from that, God be the glory. It could be worse, yes. Many other people had different impact by it, some small and some big. But to God be the glory. What don't cost life, don't cost a thing.
Thank you, Edna. And we do also have a response from Michelle Morgan on YouTube. She said the retaining wall at her church collapsed. Jackie Douglas on Facebook says we were okay, just a little leak. So yes, that's what we have on our social media for now.
Well, Jakal, I can tell you the rains affected me in that I wanted to go to certain places and I just could not traverse those roads.
Yeah, it was
The
impossible.
road was inundated with water. I'd be foolish to try to drive through those roads.
My road was completely flooded.
I had to turn back, stay put.
Yeah.
And the impact that these rains are having, on persons' lives and the country, it's just incalculable. It is something you can't necessarily measure by money alone.
Definitely, I agree as well. The citizens, we have to take or moral responsibility and just not dispose of garbage. Just dispose of garbage properly.
And as the environmental consultant indicated, a lot of the things have to do with where we're building, and the soil is not as permeable because what was perhaps, for instance, grass is now overlaid with concrete.
Yeah, I understand.
It's more than one cause. More than one cause.
We just got somebody from WhatsApp just said, they experienced major flooding and landslides during the rains as well.
I didn't hear that one. Jukal, can you repeat that one?
No problem. We just got a message from Margaret Lee White on WhatsApp that says she experienced flooding and major landslides during the rains.
Interesting. Well, more anon. We know that efforts are being made to rectify the situation. We do pray for the success of those efforts. We go right into the second watch. Who doesn't have a complaint against a utility service, whether one or the other? And most of those we hear about, involve some amount of misery, pain, poor customer experience, but then there are also good reports. And the Consumer Advisory Committee on Utilities, CACU, recognizes that employees within the industry, in terms of working for a utility company, some of them are going above and beyond their duties to exceed customers' expectations and exceed the expectations of their employers. And the Customer Service Distinction Award is one such type of effort to recognize persons who so excel, who do provide service above and beyond what they're expected to perform. And there was a deadline for nominations, which is now passed, in terms of nominating someone to get this award. The winner will be awarded during the Office of Utilities Regulations, OUR's Quality of Service Symposium on November the 28th. Notwithstanding that nominations are now closed, the deadline was on the 17th of November. We will nonetheless look at this awards, distinction awards, and see what there is to expect. We have as our guest today to enlighten us on the Consumer Advisory Committee on Utilities, CACU, Yasmin Chong. Good day, Yasmin Chong. How are you? Yasmin Chong, are you muted?
Can you hear me?
I'm hearing you now. Yes, wonderful. We are hearing you now. Now,
Okay,
first of all,
good
Yasmin
morning.
Chong. Oh, thank you. I'm sure the listeners are happy to be hearing you too. Now, what is the genesis of this award? Because many persons, they go to a utility company, and you can remind us as to what utility companies are. We go to these utility companies, and oftentimes, unfortunately, you are met up, you see staff members who for one reason or another, they just give you a response or a reaction that seems so on customer service like. I just coined that phrase if it's one to be coined. And then sometimes you go into a utility and you find someone who's so pleasant and they seem to be wanting to do so much more to help you. You know, help us a little bit there, Yasmin Shah, before we head to the break.
Yes, good morning again, everyone, and thank you so much, the Love FM, for having us this morning. You are quite right. The up and down with regards to the quality of service that we receive from our utilities is something that is of concern to
Yasmin Shah, hold that thought, because I see where we are already upon a break. Hold the thought. Listeners, please stay with us. Very important topic. We'll be right back on the Morning Watch.
Sardine for the chef and the making up. Follow the pan with pepper, that are the winner. Shop on supermarkets. Everybody
Great sardines, follow the better flavor.
The time is 7:46 a.m.
As Christians, we're told to expect persecution. It's been the story forever. But we're also told that persecution is a blessing. Persecution comes in all sizes, shapes, colors, textures, and intensity. Let's just say, if it oppresses, hurts, ill-treats, and victimizes for his sake, it's persecution. Have you experienced it? How did you handle it? Tuesday, November 21, on The Rock, join host Bishop Harold Steve Blair and guests Reverend Christopher Broadburn and Pastor Luke Smith as they discuss the topic persecution. That's The Rock, Tuesday, November 21 at 10 a.m. right here on the family station, Love 101.
Remember, every dream where you have, remember everything where you plan. With J&B Bank, anything possible. With a little savings in your hand. Save so you can build the house, buy the land, do up clothes and dreams like a plan. Save so you can start the business, get a car. Rock the trip you want to. Save so you can.
Living your best life and making memories is priceless, but saving little by little is what makes it affordable. Stop wishing you could. With your J&B Bank savings, you absolutely can.
Save so you can build the house, buy the land, do up clothes and dreams like a plan. Save so you can make the part, travel part, getting it like a star. Save so you can.
J&B Bank will help you find a way.
She can go. She can go. Increase the tempo. She can go. Don't you shut me down like that. She can go. Boy, for one season, that kick. She can go. Try to delicious new flavors to go. She can go.
Christmas is togetherness. Flow is giving you their best. Christmas is special savings. That's just what Flow is bringing. Christmas is the joy of giving. So that's just what you've been wishing. Oh, it's a celebration. Free phone and earbuds for you. Get a free Samsung phone and earbuds when you sign up for Flow Yard and Road for only $4,999 plus GCT. Flow makes Christmas bright and blue because it's all inspired by you. Flow store to sign up today. Conditions apply.
Your health is your wealth, so come we start the conversation. Vaporize and immunize all across the nation. The ministry is giving us the motivation. We take infants routine immunization. Protect the toddlers from all diseases. Tetanus, rubella, whooping cough and the measles. Polymyelitis, mumps and the flu, plus tuberculosis, to name a few. Right, stay immunized. Eliminating diseases saves lives. Visit your nearest clinic or health center for more information or log on to www.moh.gov.jl.
A message from the Ministry of Health and Wellness with support from USAID and PAHO.
Let the numbers do the talking. Over the past 2 years, we have built over 160 houses, benefiting over 500 people in more than 48 constituencies through the new social housing program. You too can benefit. Simply visit your constituency office and fill out the application form. The Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation. Building hope. Building Jamaica.
Welcome back to the Morning Watch. I'm your host, Stokeley Marshall. We are in the second watch. We're having a very interesting conversation with Yasmin Chung. She's the chairperson of the Consumer Advisory Committee on Utilities, CACU. And we are looking at the topic here in relation to a distinction award to be presented to persons in the utility sector who work for a utility company who provide customer service which is above and beyond expectations. Utility Customer Service Distinction Award. Yasmin Chung, before the break, you were commenting on the up and down nature in terms of some customer service persons, utility companies seem to provide excellent service, others don't, so the service is kind of up and down. I think what you're trying to do with this distinction award is to get everyone to strive for excellence. Enlighten us, please.
Thank you so much again, and good morning to everyone. Yes, you are quite correct in that this award is being inaugurated to try to encourage certainly our customer service departments in the 4 major utilities. And those utilities are, of course, Digicel, Flow, the Jamaica Public Service, and the National Water Commission. So what we're trying to do is to help these utilities to enhance the customer service that they provide to their customers. And by doing that, we believe that while there will always be problems, customers will always have grosses, we believe that they can be dealt with and resolved in a more customer-friendly environment, whereby the customer doesn't walk away believing that they have been hard done by this large utility company.
I'm glad you mentioned this large utility company, Yasmin Chung, because essentially what we're dealing with are monopolies or near monopolies. And when you're in a monopolistic or near monopolistic position, my view, I can be wrong, I think sometimes the staff members form a little chip on their shoulder. Well, you have to come in here to the business, so we can speak to it in any way. We can say anything to you. We can have the most morose look on our faces. We don't care. You just have to talk to us. So therefore, you're stuck with us. Any comments on that, Yasmin Chung?
I think what needs to happen in a more direct way is that our customer service providers have to understand that while they may be in a, as you put it, near monopolistic situation, the fact of the matter is it's a business, and the business cannot go on without your customers. And so it is important, at least from our perspective, it is important that you provide the best customer service there is for the service that you are providing. And so, again, this award is there to encourage these practitioners, these customer service practitioners, to really do the best they can. And in your earlier comments, you mentioned about, this kind of don't care attitude. You have to take the service no matter what. That is not necessarily the way to go, I believe, because in as much as many of these companies are near monopolies, the truth is that we do have a regulatory agency that regulates the business, and it's not only the financial side of the business, but it also regulates the customer service side of it as well. So it is important, and in fact it is an imperative for these utility companies to understand that your most valued asset in this business is your customer. And so what we're trying to do again with this award is to highlight the fact that the benefits of good customer service redound to the profitability and certainly the public image of the utility.
Well, tell us about the awards themselves. How are persons nominated? what happens after you get these nominations, and what do you look for in each candidate, and tell us about what you expect on November the 28th.
Okay, thank you. All right, so this award is intended to highlight those customer service agents, let's put it that way, of each utility that's out there providing the kind of service that we believe is what makes their customer happy. Let's put it that way. So the first thing is that employee of any of those 4 utilities, and forgive us, but this is the inaugural staging of this award, and we are focusing mainly on those 4 companies that I mentioned earlier. So we are looking for that customer service person that provides friendly, quality kind of response to customer complaints. The customers are your most important asset. And I have to reiterate that fact. The customer is the most important asset. And so when you have a happy customer,
Without customers coming in, you have no business.
That's correct. So this award is looking for that one person from any of the 4 companies that we are looking at, who has demonstrated in no uncertain way this very friendly, very pleasant, and more importantly, very knowledgeable
Yes,
to customer service.
So tell us about November the 28th. What are you expecting on November the 28th?
Well, on November the 28th, thanks to the Office of Utilities Regulation, we are going to be presenting that award to an employee of either Digital Flow, JPS, or NWC, who has demonstrated those qualities which we believe are exemplary of excellence in customer service.
And can you tell us, like, for instance, where will it be? Will it be just sort of announced and communicated to the will it be a ceremony? How will it, in what form will you make the announcement?
Right, so the Office of Utilities Regulation will host their annual Quality of Service Symposium at the Jamaica Pegasus Hotel on the 28th of November. And we have had the honor and the collaboration, in fact, with the OUR. And they have allowed us to present this award in person on the 28th during that symposium. Now, I think it is important that I highlight also that nominations have been received from the utility companies, but we have also received nominations from consumers of those services, which I think is what makes the difference here, Stokeley, because when you give your customers the opportunity to tell us, good or bad, of the service that they're receiving, it is a more inclusive approach, and that is also what we're striving for. So we have received nominations, and while nominations officially closed last Friday, due to the events of last week, we have extended it on the nomination date. Yes, we have extended the nomination date to Wednesday, to tomorrow.
Okay, tomorrow, that's lovely.
November 20, right. We will be making that award nonetheless, because as I said earlier, we have already received a number of nominations, and we are just encouraging consumers that if you are interested in nominating a customer service rep, and that customer service rep, Stokeley,
you have a day left. So tell us how we can communicate that to you. We have a day left to tell you. Tell us how we can communicate it to you.
Okay. If you are interested in doing that, you can you will go on the OUR website and they will have the information there. There is a link that you click on and it goes directly to the nomination form. You complete that nomination form and click submit and you are there. Your nomination
I have
is
to leave it there this morning, Yasmin Chung. Very interesting, but we look forward to hearing more from you, from CACU, and we look to see which person from which utility company receives this award, and we do hope and pray that it will lead to a general overall improvement in the quality of service from these companies. Thank you so much, Yasmin Chung, for being with us today, and we wait with bated breath to see who is the winner.
Thank you so much, and we do too, and all the best to everyone listening.
All the best to you, and thank you, listeners, for being with us today. Join us again tomorrow as we get other topical and controversial issues. And of course, visit the Love 101 FM YouTube channel and Facebook page for this and all other Love 101 FM programs, and download our Love 101 app. Remember that we are the family station, Love 101 FM, the #1 gospel station in Jamaica. This has been the Morning Watch. Thanks to our producer, Kathy Gale, and to our guests. I am Stokeley Marsh, and I'm Love in the Morning with Chakal.
We want to thank AIM Financial Corporation Limited for sponsoring the Morning Watch today. AIM has a loan for any purpose. Visit any of our branches in Mandeville, Kingston, Spanish Town, Portmore, Maypen, Ocho Rios, and Monte